Jam on toast!
Hey everybody, and welcome to today's Jam. The Toast is 2, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. This is a Sourcefed movie club review, so fuck you, Sourcefed. I had to watch this movie twice just to make sure that I got everything, and huge time sink out of my weekend this week. The short sale on this one is that a ambitious young man who is after every man's great adventure, pussy, finds his way into the world of television only to get hired on by the CIA to be a hitman. So he does this to get by alongside trying to make these game shows of the 1960s and 70s big hits. The entire time trying to do anything that moves. Now, as Chuck Barris is a real person, I have no idea where the idea for this came from unless it came from Chuck himself. The movie does not flatter him as a character at all. And with that in mind, it almost makes me feel kind of bad for Chuck Barris because he did do a lot for television at the time. Granted, they're frivolous TV shows, but they were important history markers of the day. Without further ado, let's go to the categories. Aesthetics. This movie looks great. And I don't mean that like the sense that Avatar looks great. I mean that in the sense that they took care to notice of what they were putting on the screen. They put filters in at great times, even if it was just to signify that there was some importance to the scene to make it stand out a little bit more. They did great green screen work where like half the screen became someone else's office, even to the point where Chuck walks into that office, even though he's not really there and you can tell that's the case. If this was a lower budget movie, I might think that he did that on accident, but with the quality production that this has, you can tell that he did it on purpose and that it's what they wanted you to perceive. Overall, they did a great job with the production of this movie. Aesthetics, it's a 90. Character development. This entire movie is a character development of Chuck Barris. We see other characters and he interacts with them and they develop them to some degree, some much more than others, and being that we're dealing with CIA agents, that's gonna be given. But they do an excellent job of telling Chuck Barris' story, that is the story of Chuck Barris for this movie, not saying that this is what really happened to Chuck Barris. Character development gets a 90. Storyline. This is where you lose me. It feels like at any given time we're experiencing one of 3 different stories. We're either dealing with the CIA agent aspect of the world, we're dealing with the television world, or we're dealing with Chuck Barris' personal life. Kind of makes me wonder how they got that information. Any one of these 3 aspects, I would love to see a movie on. Mixing them together, it almost disparages the other stories. Quite frankly, I'd love to see the Chuck Barris movie about his actual life. There's plenty of spy CIA movies out there. I would recommend Covert Affairs if you want to watch something of that nature. And maybe it's that I had to watch the stupid thing twice, but the whole premise is just a little out there, and normally I like that, but it didn't fly in this case. Storyline gets a 50. Compulsion. You're easily distracted from the movie because either it seems so simple and basic or it's overly complicated. I constantly found myself the first time distracted into other things and then wondering what just happened. By the end of the movie, I felt so lost I had to wait and watch it again. And mostly what I was missing out on was the CIA stuff. This movie can be very detail oriented when it comes down to the actual story. You can probably fall asleep in the middle and get the general gist and come out on top, but then you missed all the work these people put into it. As much tender loving care as they put into the production of this movie, I think they could have put a little bit more into making the movie a little bit more accessible. Compulsion gets a 50. Now if you total everything up, we get an average of 70. So for my wrap-up review, I would say tread with caution. This is not a movie for everyone. It's not a movie for me. I wouldn't recommend it to other people. There are so many other things that you could go and watch. Like if you just want to see Sam Rockwell kill people, go watch 7 Psychopaths. That was freaking awesome. And again, if you want something dealing with the CIA, I suggest Covert Affairs. Granted, it's a series, but Piper Perabo is an absolute treat. You know what? I think that's it for me. I'm Cameron. Have a nice day.